Hello everyone and welcome to the video interview session of ETAuto. This is Shruti Mishra and today we are joined by one of the youngest and most dynamic personality of Indian automotive industry, Mr. Vikas Jhabakh from Benelli India. Mr. Jhabakh joined Benelli India in 2018 and currently spears the company's operation as Managing Director. Hello sir, welcome to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
So, sir, we will first start with the current situation. So, how this lockdown impacted the company's performance in the past few months, and how the Benelli's India's market approach has changed post lockdown.
Sure. As you might recall, Benelli had started operations in the beginning of 2019 in January, and we had a very strong 2019. And going into the last quarter of the year, we had launched the Imperiale 400, and the bike had taken a lot of traction and was doing really well. We were adding numbers all across the country, both in terms of sales and network. And that was halted because of the lockdown, because of the COVID concern. We went a couple of months where we did not have any operations going on because of the lockdown. And since it's opened up, operations have restarted again. Honestly speaking, the restart has been a lot more encouraging than we thought it would be. Obviously, business as we know it and situation as we know it has changed post the lockdown. People have become more and more aware and are more concerned about safety, and thus there has been a move towards wanting to own their own two-wheeler and wanting to commute on their own, and that's really a positive for our industry, right? And I think fortunately we had built a strong brand presence in the market, so people, fans, customers, the audience really associated themselves with brand Benelli have come back in strong numbers, and things have been looking pretty good since the restart.
So, when we talk about the brand Benelli, it is something that people associate with some luxury and premium products. So, talking about the current situation when the consumer spend has reduced drastically, how do you think the COVID fallout has impacted the premiumization trend within the two-wheeler and bike segment of Indian automotive industry?
Firstly, I think the impact that COVID has had on the premium segment of the two-wheeler industry is not as harsh as the impact on the commuter segment. I think the commuter segment had initially seen a huge drop before recovery. I think the premium segment itself was not as badly impacted. Again, two reasons here is because of the market segment that tends to opt for a premium bike segment. We're not as impacted as the section of people buying into a commuter bike. Second, again, people buying into a premium bike are buying it not just for daily commuting reasons, but they're buying into a brand, they're buying into a lifestyle, they're buying it for the riding culture, etc., etc. So definitely there was a slight impact, although I would say not as impacted as the commuter segment. Uh, like I said, I think the segment has bounced back pretty strongly. We are doing pretty good numbers as compared to last year or even pre-COVID, and I think the segment will continue to grow from here on.
How this lockdown and like sluggish sale has impacted your product development cycles, because earlier you had some plans for the scooter segment as well, and you were planning to launch something on the electric side, if I'm not wrong. You had some plans there. So what is the situation right now? Are we on track? Are we will Benelli India will be able to deliver that all those products on the expected timeline?
So, the product development cycle is one thing that has definitely taken a bit of a hit because of the entire situation. One might recall that we have about 6 to 7 different products in our portfolio pre-COVID. As of now, we've reintroduced the Imperiale 400 in the BS6 format. Having said that, 2021 is going to be a very exciting year for Benelli as we look to reintroduce a lot more products into our portfolio. So by end of 2021, if you walk into a Benelli facility anywhere in the country, you will see a range of products that will be on display. To take your point on electric specifically, Benelli has invested a lot in R&D for electric products across the world. In fact, in a lot of countries, Benelli also has some EV products that are up for sale. I'm very glad that the government in India has been pushing the electric drive in a large way. We're very closely monitoring their policies and the trends in the market right now. And, we are fairly sure that when we feel the time is right, we are open to maybe bringing electric products in the Benelli portfolio also.
So talking about your product portfolio, Benelli India has recently completed 1 year of its retro style Imperiale 400 launch. So how has been the market response for the product? Also, so when we talk about the BS6 line, we are currently seeing just one product from Benelli India, which is Imperiale 400. So when are you planning to launch rest of your product, BS6 products? And what will be the timeline of all those launches?
Good. I'm so glad you asked that question. So I'll take the first one. The response that we've received to the Imperiale 400 has been overwhelming. A lot of effort was put behind that particular product. Although the product is only 1 year old, I think there's at least 2 to 3 years of work, research, development that has gone in to bring that particular product to India. It is the first product that Benelli has worked on to make sure that it is actually suitable for one particular country, which is India, right? So that shows the commitment towards developing products for India. The response from all stakeholders, whether it be dealers, the media, critics, customers, has been really positive. We've been receiving a lot of great response, and that shows in the bookings and numbers that we have done consistently since its launch. We've had the Imperiale family is only growing day on day across the country. So it's a huge positive for us, and we are looking forward to doing very well on that front. With respect to the BS6 portfolio, like you said, the only product that we've reintroduced currently is the Imperiale 400. Like I said sometime back, 2021 is going to be a very exciting year for Benelli. Our entire BS6 rollout plan was, of course, affected with the entire COVID and the lockdown situation that we all had. So I think right from January onwards, I think almost every month or every 45 days, you will see some kind of an activity or news coming from Benelli's side. I think we are all set to once again excite all our customers and fans across the country. And like I said, we're going to revamp and reshape our portfolio through 2021. So you'll see a much wider portfolio going into next year.
All right. So when you have such aggressive plans on the product portfolio side, what are you planning and how are you planning to expand your networks and dealerships touch points? If you can shed some light on that.
So when we started off, in January 2019, we had about 7 to 8 outlets across the country. From there on, we've been expanding quite aggressively. All the way up to pre-COVID, I think we had reached up to 31, 32 outlets. Of course, again, during the lockdown, that put a bit of a slowdown in our expansion plan. But in fact, post-lockdown now, we have already gone on to start opening new dealerships. Obviously, we are also being careful and mindful about social distancing. So we moved away from physical launches to digital launches of all our facilities now. As we speak, we've already reached a count of 38 outlets across the country. We are hoping to launch another 4 this month, another 4 next month. I'm fairly confident by the end of the financial year, we'll be at about 50 outlets across the country. So a lot of expansion happening in that trend.
So, so when we talk about the new product line that we will see during from January 2021. So, for whole of the year, how many products and in which segments are you planning to launch? If you can shed a bit of like developments which is happening on the product launches
Sure.
side.
So, of course, assuming that, there will be no further breaks in business going forward, and assuming that, normalcy returns in a big way, I think it's safe to say that we will launch about 5 to 6 products next year, at least, maybe more, but right now I'd like to commit to 5 to 6. And, we will be doing it across the board, right from 250cc all the way up to 500cc for sure. So again, we will be available at multiple price points, and really have a wide product portfolio.
Okay. So you are saying 5 to 6 products, new product launches. So does that include the upgradation or excluding that, or that will be standalone new product launches?
No, that includes upgradations as well.
So talking about the premium bike market, which currently holds less than 10% market share of the total domestic two-wheeler market in India. So what attracts the foreign market player like Benelli towards this market?
I think something we should keep in mind is that, today India is the largest two-wheeler market in the world. Not only is it the largest two-wheeler market, maybe not counting this year, it is probably one of the biggest market that continues to grow year on year. If you look at the share of the premium segment in the Indian bike market, maybe 8 to 10 years back was less than 1%, was minuscule. And that segment has been increasing every year, and the segment has been increasing in a growing bike market. What this means is that while the commuter segment is growing at about 5 to 10% every year, the premium segment is growing at about 30 to 35% every year, right? And this is why you not only see international brands such as Benelli wanting to come to India, but you also see local brands such as TVS, Bajaj, and Hero making strategic investments to enter the premium space, right? I strongly believe that this is a space that is going to continuously grow in India. One, because India as a country itself is growing and will continue to grow. The professional segment in India, the mid-income, higher mid-income segment is continuously growing, not only in tier 1 cities, but strongly in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. The infrastructure of the country is only getting better and better. Financing options are only getting better, with a whole lot of financing options now available to Indian consumers, fintech companies making it easier for the correct people to get the correct kind of loans. I think the lifestyle quotient of Indians is now second to none globally. People want the best, people work the hardest, and I honestly believe that the entire segment is going to continue growing quite strongly. And I think this is why you see so many brands showing an interest in India and wanting to invest into India as a market.
Okay. So when we see about the current premium bike market segment in India, today many of the motorcycle manufacturers are also inching towards the premium and higher displacement segment. So how this trend is increasing the level of competition in the premium segment?
Uh, I think more than seeing it as increasing the level of competition in the premium segment, what I would like to focus is that they're actually increasing the premium segment itself, right? Like I was saying, the premium segment is growing by about 25 to 30% year on year. Uh, that is also being helped with the fact that even the mainstream, commuter, strong Indian brands are now beginning to invest in the premium space. And what this essentially does is make premium products available to the entire country, thus increasing the entire space itself. And suddenly when you have a lot more consumers considering this segment, of course it brings eyeballs to everybody in this segment. And overall I think that's really good for the entire premium segment, right? So of course there is competition, and competition is a good thing. It forces all of us to ensure that we bring the best product out there, bring the best package, the best value for money, the best service offerings. And all in all, I think the pie is going to keep getting bigger. So I'm really glad to see this very positive momentum in this segment.
Within the now with the easing of lockdown restrictions, how you are planning to increase the production at your facility in Hyderabad, and also, so with 5 6 new launches as well as upgradation in 2021, are we planning to see some new plant or new facilities from Benelli India in near future?
So, we've constantly been increasing our production capacity from when we launched in 2018. In fact, we've used this lockdown period to upgrade part of our plant and machinery and to improve our production capacity. We've recently moved from a annual production capacity of 7,000 units per year to about 30,000 units per year. And this is keeping in mind the demand that we foresee coming our way in the near future. So, obviously that shows a lot of confidence that we have in the market, in the segment, and in the brand itself. To be honest, we are capable of further increasing capacity in our existing plant as of today. So, when we feel that we are close to getting to those kind of numbers, I think the first mode of expansion will be in the existing facility before we think of a secondary one.
And what will be the next big thing, like immediate big thing from Benelli India that we will see during this financial year?
So, I think the entire corona or post corona situation has forced all of us to rethink how we do business, right? Of course, the consumer needs and consumer preferences have changed dramatically after this entire experience. And, we've kept that in mind, and we've constantly upgraded our infrastructure and our strategy. Just to give you an idea, we as Bentley are, heavily invested in the digital space in terms of how we reach out to our consumers, and we've invested even more to ensure that our interaction with the customers through an online platform and digitally, not just for communication, but to keep them engaged, to keep interacting with them. We've invested a lot more resources in this space. In terms of on ground, we have brought out a lot of schemes and offers to make sure that consumers find it easy to come back and purchase their Benelli in the market. We've come out with finance schemes that allow you to buy a bike for as little as 4,999 a month, or you can get an insurance at a discounted price, I think almost 50% off or something like that. So we've rolled out a couple of initiatives to reach out to customers, connect with them, and make it easier for them given the current situation. In terms of FY21, I think one thing Benelli will be focusing very strongly is on rides and the riding community and the riding culture that we want to put around the brand Benelli. Previously I had said that one of the pillars of our success is going to be our riding culture, and obviously in the last few months we have not had an opportunity to really go out and do the kind of riding that I know our customers would like to do or we would like to do. But I think as things are opening up now and people are getting more comfortable with the idea of stepping out and seeing each other, I think we will be putting a lot of efforts and resources into rekindling all the riding groups across the country, and we will be doing a lot of fun activities and fun rides. And we just want the entire community to come together, and I think that's how we're going to make a difference in FY21.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jhabakh, for talking to ETAuto.
Thank you, Shruti. Thanks a lot.